Hello, everybody. I am here to finally finish what I started with these videos and make my prophecy video for Rite of the Nine. Now, these weapons, as always, come with the Gravity Well origin trait, but they also come with, in my opinion, arguably the best origin trait in a dungeon, maybe with the exception of Sundered. The crossing over origin trait gives these weapons increased range at the top half of the magazine, range and handling, and increased damage for the bottom half of the magazine. These are not drastic numbers. So, for example, it's 10 range for the 50%, and then when you get to the bottom, it linearly scales from 1.5 to 3% increased damage, and that range also linearly scales. So that drops down as you reach the 50% mark. It is a great origin trait for PvP, and some of these weapons are probably better in PvP than they are in PvE, for better or for worse, but I digress. Let's get into it. First, I just have to say, the fact that Darkest Before is not one of the weapons for this, I could do without the SMG, that's okay. But the fact that Darkest Before is not a part of this is a huge shame, because I genuinely believe it's the best weapon in this dungeon. I would have loved to see it come back, like maybe its original arc form, updated with like jolting feedback, just as a differentiator. Could have been really neat, and I'm a little disappointed that it's not here. I'll get over it, but I'm a little disappointed that it's not here. Instead, we have Relentless, which is a perfectly acceptable high-impact frame pulse rifle. It has lovely perks such as Tear, Slice, and Firefly for PvE, as well as a desirable PvP perk in Lone Wolf and another one in Keep Away. When we get to the fourth column, I'm not wild about elemental honing on a primary weapon. If I'm going to do that work, I want it to be on something that's going to hit harder, and so I'm not going to geek out over that. Gun to my head, I'm probably looking at Paracausal Affinity, just because it's easy to proc. I'm looking at Desperado, because it's generally easy to proc. Hatchling is another great option. And then if you're looking at PvP, probably Headseeker is what I'm going to go with, probably paired with Lone Wolf. I'm not the biggest fan of high-impact frames in PvE, which is why I stress the PvP. I know these did get a nerf, but they're still effective weapons in the right hands, and this has a lot of the rolls that you're looking for, so maybe give it a shot. Jumping over to the Judgment Hand Cannon. This is a weapon that I thought I would like more than I do now that I have it, because it has a lot of really good perks. Again, if you're looking at PvE, you have Demolitionist and Headstone in the third column, which are awesome. Again, these weapons, you could probably hear my cat in the background meowing. She's probably not impressed with my takes on these weapons. She must be a big Relentless stan. I don't know what to tell you. Demo Headstone in the third column is awesome, and both of those perks can be really good. If you're looking at the PvP angle, you're probably once again looking at Lone Wolf and Keep Away as your top options there. As we get to the fourth, Paracausal Affinity comes back. They are fighting. This is great for a video. They're playing. They're not actually fighting. They're playing. She was trying to get his attention. My male cat was behind me. He's great. Paracausal Affinity is my go-to damage perk whenever I can get it. Rhyme Stealer is another great option. Again, paired with Headstone, you get that built-in stasis synergy, which is awesome. And for the PvP players out there, you're really looking at Opening Shot. And a sleeper on both sides might be Timed Payload. I know Timed Payload is not as popular as Explosive Payload in PvP, but it's still some extra damage, some extra range, a little more consistency for the people who want it, and it does pair pretty nicely with Headstone as far as breaking those crystals. So, keep that in mind. Moving on now to the Prosecutor, and this one was kind of a PvP demon when it returned to the loot pool in the dungeon in Prophecy, so that has changed a lot. Precision auto rifles are not in the state that they were when this first came back, and it's fine. I think there are much better options in that slot, though they are not necessarily arc. Though, given the choice between the two, I would much rather take the auto from Vesper because it features jolting feedback, which Prosecutor inexplicably does not, because Bungie likes to give arc weapons cool new perks and then not give them to them. I guess that's just the thing, because they just won't put jolting feedback on anything, it feels like. I don't understand. Dragonfly in the third column is a lot of fun. Having something like that for add clear potential, especially on a precision-oriented auto rifle, is always nice. Eddy Current is a nice reload and handling perk, and Keep Away, maybe Zen Moment are there if you do want to take this into the Crucible. I'm not as wild about attrition orbs on this weapon just because it's slower firing, and I feel like, with the options that you have here for Prosecutor, specifically Dragonfly, which I love, and then again, Eddy Current or Subsistence if you're going to do Onslaught or something in the fourth, I feel like there's just better synergies. And the nice thing usually about attrition orbs is it takes the place of a lack of synergy. It is a great perk when your weapons don't have a third column perk, or in some cases a fourth column with certain weapons, that really clicks with the way you're trying to use it. And so it's a great plug and play neutral game perk. But when you have the synergies that you can get with Prosecutor, it's really hard to recommend it as wholeheartedly. And it is not a bad perk. It is a perk I still love, but maybe on this particular weapon, not my number one option. In the fourth column, again, we have Onslaught. We have Paracausal Affinity again, which is great. We have Volt Shot, which is a choice. I would give it jolting feedback. I'm just saying I would give it jolting feedback. Volt Shot with Eddy Current is great. Volt Shot with Dragonfly is interesting because you can get that big explosion, reload, and then you get the big chain lightning. And so you can kind of keep chaining explosions, a lot of lightning all around. It's a lot of fun. I have a roll with that, and I really do enjoy it. Again, as somebody who's not crazy about precision autos, I like it. I'm not going to really use it, but I like it for what it's worth. The real weapon that you're going to be after is Sudden Death, the shotgun, Void Shotgun, and it's for one reason and one reason only. It is the fact that it can get 1-2 punch in the third column, and it can get trench barrel in the fourth. It is every punch class's dream to get the two punchiest abilities on one gun at the same time and can use them both at the same time. Shout out to Discord Redirection, which is a role that I had not really given much thought to initially, and somebody mentioned it, and it kind of clicked in my brain, and I said, ooh. So shout out to Discord Redirection. If you get that, keep it. But honestly, the real draw is the 1-2 punch trench barrel. If you're building a melee build, that's arguably the two best perks you can put on it. It's really, really hard to want to pass that up. Redirection can kind of take the place. But again, if you're using 1-2 punch and redirection, you're damaging rank and file combatants with your shotgun when you really want to be using it on the big bad boss. So 1-2 punch trench or Discord Redirection are my picks on this. And of course, if you're going to take it into PvP, threat detector, slide shot, opening shot, closing time, it's all there. It's the shotgun perks of all time for PvP. You're not really going to go wrong. Thank you guys so much for checking out these videos. As we get into the next week of Destiny, all of the dungeons are going to be active, so all of these videos will be relevant finally. So, watch them. I tried to keep them as short as I could, just so you wouldn't have to scroll through like a 20-minute video to find what you're looking for. Find some roles you like. Get ready for the Edge of Fate. If you guys are excited for the Edge of Fate, let me know. With all the information that's coming out now, I'm interested to hear some thoughts, because I have some thoughts. and maybe I'll save that for down the line. But I do appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who subscribes, everybody who likes the videos. I appreciate all of you, but especially you guys who like and subscribe. You're my favorite. Don't tell anybody. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.